One of the most costly vegetables in the world is cultivated entirely in darkness, but it is devoured by hundreds of thousands of tons every year. Have you ever heard of this vegetable? The mystery gem that is endive, which is found in the world of vegetables, is at the center of a leafy green industry that is worth multiple billion years. At the beginning of its peculiar journey, chicory seeds are planted in fields that are drenched in sunlight. These seeds are then cultivated until they develop into roots that are plump and earthy. When these muddy chicory roots are brought inside the factory, however, the real magic begins to take place. In complete darkness, delicate endive buds quietly form, producing their trademark gentle sweetness and pearly white elegance that has charmed millions of people who are passionate about food and cooking. Come along with us today as we investigate the reasons behind the reputation of this vegetable as the jewel of the dark in European cuisine. This video is going to reveal everything there is to know. It is not the flavor of endive that continues to be a mystery to many people outside of Europe and certain regions of North America. Rather, it is the extremely complicated growing method that makes endive so difficult to cultivate. Endive, in contrast to the majority of leafy greens, is effectively produced twice. In the beginning, the chicory roots were grown in open fields, and then they were compelled to sprout pale ivory buds in full darkness, under settings that were strictly managed. It is precisely because of this labor-intensive technique that endive can cost anywhere from 5 to 10 times more than regular salad greens. Some of the appeal of endive can also be attributed to its name. I don't see why people don't just call it a chicory bud. The solution may be traced back to a lucky event that occurred in Belgium in the 1800s. At the time, a farmer by the name of Jan Lammers was storing chicory roots in his cellar for the forthcoming winter. A concealed beauty that only becomes apparent in the ultimate stage of development is what is meant by the term endive, which refers to something that occurs at the very end of the process. Were you ever familiar with this fascinating vegetable? Or have you ever tried it? Share your experience in the comments section below if that is the case. In Belgium, the country that is considered to be the birthplace of endive, approximately 110,000 tons are harvested annually. This accounts for 30% of the total production worldwide and generates hundreds of millions of euros. For the purpose of cultivating it on a large scale, France and the Netherlands are also big producers. These countries make use of hydroponic systems and excellent environmental control technologies. But why is it so important to develop oneself in the shadows? The reason for this is that the plant does not develop chlorophyll when it is not exposed to light. This prevents the endive from losing its creamy white color, moderate bitterness, and crisp, juicy texture, all of which are characteristics that distinguish it as a premium product. In the event that the buds were exposed to light, they would continue to develop into ordinary chicory plants. Any and all marvels have their origins. The trip does not begin in the shadows for these dark gems. Rather, it begins in the sunshine, in the sunny fields where chicory is planted and cultivated in the same manner as any other produce. The preparation of the soil for the growth of chicory roots is the first step in the creation of endive. Chicory roots are the foundation that defines the quality of the buds that are produced in the end. The perfect soil is a sandy loam with a pH that is neutral. This type of soil encourages the formation of roots quickly and allows for the maximum storage of energy for the later forcing phase. Using mass seeding equipment, chicory seeds are planted straight into the ground at a depth of approximately 1.50 to 2 centimeters at the beginning of spring. These machines not only place the seeds in rows that are clean and parallel to one another, but they also gently compress the soil above them in order to keep the moisture for longer and increase the likelihood of germination. The chicory field has been turned into a lush, green carpet after approximately 120 to 150 days after the tiny seeds initially broke through the dirt. This marks the moment when the roots that were concealed beneath the soft earth are finally ready to be harvested. The optimal time to harvest normally occurs between the months of September and November, although this might vary according on the climate conditions of the region. The leaf cutting unit is the first component of the machine to interact with the chicory plant as it goes through the rows of chicory. Rotating blades or horizontal cutters are used to remove the leafy tops of the chicory plant. This exposes the crown of the root and makes room for the subsequent mechanisms to function with more precision. Almost immediately after that, the mechanism that digs into the roots begins to function. In order to create a passage for the lifting system, two steel blades in the shape of a V are positioned beneath the machine and gently glide into the soil on either side of the chicory base. This creates a path for the lifting system. To ensure that the cutting depth is appropriate for the average root length of each harvest batch, it is possible to vary it between 25 and 35 centimeters. First impressions may lead one to believe that the chicory harvester is similar to a machine that pulls carrots. On the other hand, it is significantly more sophisticated, since it is equipped with soft grip clamps, a vertical lifting system, and an efficient soil cleaning unit. It is essential to incorporate these design modifications in order to maintain the integrity of the lengthy and delicate roots, reduce the amount of harm that occurs, and guarantee that they possess the capacity to sprout again during the forcing period. After the chicory roots have been extracted from the ground, they are carefully transferred onto a rubber conveyor belt that is fitted with padded cleats to reduce the amount of impact they experience. Depending on the planting density and the conditions of the soil, a modern harvester is capable of processing anywhere from 8 to 15 tons of chicory roots per hour. Damage rates are normally kept below 2% with this instrument. However, this is only 2/3 of the journey. Immediately after leaving the fields, the transport trucks that are loaded with chicory roots make their way toward the forcing stage, which is the most crucial and peculiar part of the endive production process. This stage takes place in full darkness. It is in this location that these roots, which appear to be harsh, undergo a transformation into endive buds that are refined and of high value. These buds are delicate jewels that are born not in the light, but in the shadows. The dump trucks or trailers that are loaded with chicory roots are sorted and processed as soon as they arrive at the facility. This is done in accordance with the present intake capacity of the production line. Roots of chicory that are picked early in September frequently have not yet reached their full maturity or size potential. In most cases, these are reserved and kept in cold chambers for an extended period of time. In order to guarantee that the roots enter a full dormancy, it is essential that the temperature remains consistent between 0 and 1 degrees Celsius. This will prevent the roots from sprouting prematurely, while also protecting the internal energy reserves that are required for the endive forcing phase subsequent to this. Chicory roots that are collected between the months of October and November are normally mature enough to continue immediately to the forcing stage in the darkroom. This is the beginning of their transformation into endive buds that are ivory white in color, crisp and delicate, and among the most premium vegetables in the world. In the manufacturing facility, hydraulic devices are used to lift entire truck beds, which enables tons of chicory roots to glide gradually into a wide receiving chute. The primary intake hopper of the preliminary cleaning line is directly fed by this chute during the cleaning process. At the point where the hopper is located, the primary conveyor system starts to function. It directs the flow of chicory roots onto a roller belt that is fitted with revolving rubber brushes and mechanical rakes. The removal of any remaining leaf stems, clumps of dry soil, lateral roots, and gritty debris is accomplished by the collaborative efforts of these components. The next step involves the roots traveling over rollers that have small gaps or a surface that is made of a rotating mesh. This allows the roots to pass through fine soil, small stones, and organic fragments. The chicory roots are getting ready for their second life cycle, and this phase is not only about cleaning them, it is an important preparation step that gets them ready for it. Once the majority of the dirt and debris has been removed During the initial cleaning step, the chicory roots are transferred to a conveyor that is designed for deep washing. During this stage, they are either immersed in a revolving drum washer or put through high-pressure water jets that are positioned along the belt. This ensures that they are thoroughly rinsed. It is interesting to note that from the perspective of agricultural processing, some manufacturers completely skip this washing stage. This is especially true in situations where the roots are already adequately clean and will only be stored for a short period of time. After being washed, the chicory roots are transported to the location where they are sorted and quality controlled. At this location, workers remove by hand any roots that are broken, moldy, rotten, or of an improper size. Only those roots that are straight, long, unbroken, and of appropriate size are retained for the subsequent phase, which is known as bud forcing. While this is going on, the growing racks that are outfitted with trays, each of which is separated into square cells that are appropriate for the roots of individual chicory plants, are initially filled with chilled water. This stage contributes to the establishment of an environment that is suitable for bud forcing because it is steady, humid, and temperature controlled. The workers carefully insert each chicory root into a cell with speed and precision, making sure that the base of the root makes proper contact with the water surface. Once the trays have been placed and filled, the workers proceed to the next step. The roots are evenly spaced to prevent overcrowding, which results in excellent conditions for homogeneous sprouting and the production of endive buds of superior quality. The peculiar voyage of the chicory root finally reaches its most anticipated chapter, which is the darkroom forcing stage, which is where the actual magic happens. This conclusion comes after all of the laborious preparation that has been done. The first step in achieving success is to establish an atmosphere of complete and utter darkness. The natural biology of the plant can only be redirected and managed in a deliberate manner when there is no light present. This allows the plant to grow in a completely different path. In order to accomplish this, the environment is subject to stringent regulation. A temperature that is maintained between 12 and 16 degrees is maintained, keeping the humidity in the air at 90 to 95%, and adjusting the oxygen levels in order to slow down the respiration process and minimize the amount of natural oxidation that occurs. As a consequence of this, the buds develop gradually but steadily, with a decreased likelihood of rotting and a shape that is uniform and exquisite. A faultless creation of darkness and precision, each and every one of them. There is a recirculating hydroponic system that is located beneath each tray. This system delivers water and nutrients from the foundation up. This ensures that the root bases remain continuously wet without water accumulating on the buds, which reduces the danger of fungal infections while simultaneously promoting the sprouts to grow in an upright, thick, and regularly formed manner. In the darkroom, the space is arranged in shelving racks with multiple levels, with each level having the capacity to accommodate hundreds of trays simultaneously. Through the utilization of this vertical arrangement, it is possible to produce thousands of chicory roots simultaneously within a closed-loop system that is designed for mass production. During the forcing process, which normally lasts between 20 and 25 days, the growth of the buds is continuously monitored by a network of sensors that are connected to a central control system. This guarantees that the environmental parameters are precisely regulated, which enables the sprouts to develop at a consistent and ideal rate from the beginning. Make an effort to cultivate endive, utilizing the conventional way of soil forcing, if you are interested in being a farmer in the traditional sense. This method allows chicory roots to be planted directly into dirt beds inside of a darkroom, which eliminates the need to invest in complicated hydroponic systems. It is necessary to cover the entire bed with black plastic sheets in order to prevent light from entering, to keep the temperature steady, and to keep the moisture in the bed. This creates the optimum circumstances for the buds to grow. Chicory that is cultivated in this manner typically yields endives that have a more robust flavor, a more dense texture, and thicker leaves in comparison to those that are grown hydroponically. Despite the fact that it requires more area and produces lower yields, this old approach is still utilized on a significant number of farms across Europe, particularly in Belgium, which is the country that gave birth to endive. The most satisfying moment, harvest time, is at the conclusion of all the effort that requires patience and precise attention to detail. When the endive buds reach a length of 12 to 15 centimeters, with uniformly pointed tips, tightly wrapped leaves, and no gaps for light to enter, they are considered to be perfectly mature. They form what many people refer to as pearls of the dark, which are characterized by their crisp texture, delicate sweetness, and the near-complete absence of chicory's natural bitterness. During the last stage of manufacturing, rotary disc cutters, which are machines that are considered to be crucial instruments, are utilized in modern facilities to assist in the harvesting process. In comparison to manual cutting, their seamless and accurate operation has the potential to increase production by a factor of 3 to 5, while simultaneously lowering the amount of damage that is caused by inappropriate handling. The apparatus is equipped with a big rotating disc that is separated into many compartments, each of which is meant to hold the chicory root in a secure manner in a horizontal orientation. It is common for each rotation to process between 4 and 6 roots, depending on the configuration of the machine. The entire operation is carried out in a continuous and without interruption manner. After the endive buds have been separated, they are carefully placed into a gathering chute and then transferred to a sorting conveyor. The workers then inspect the buds and eliminate any buds that have loose leaves, deformities, or defects. This ensures that only the pristine specimens are sent on to the packaging stage. After the harvest, the endive leaves that are old and those that are in excess are picked separately. Because of their high fiber and nutrient content, they are frequently composted to produce organic fertilizer or repurposed as livestock feed for animals such as cows, goats, and rabbits. Following the completion of their function in the sprouting process, the spent chicory roots are removed and either transferred for biological processing or transformed into biofuel. Therefore, it is possible to collect and reuse as much as 95 to 100% of the biomass that is produced by the plant. This is a prime example of the closed-loop cycle that is used in modern agriculture. In this cycle, every component of the plant is employed, not only to produce premium endive, but also to assist environmental conservation and sustainable development. The growth trays on current farms are washed by automatic robots after each endive cycle. This helps modern farms save time and maintain the highest possible level of sanitation. The soil, root debris, and any lingering microbes are removed from every nook and cranny by these systems, which make use of high-pressure water jets and rotating brushes to perform a comprehensive cleaning method. Immediately following the sorting process, the endive buds of the highest quality are moved to the packaging line, which is located in a cold environment. It is possible to pack the buds in breathable mesh bags, plastic trays with shrink wrap, or vacuum-sealed packaging, depending on the market that they are intended for. This combination of packaging can increase the buds' shelf life by up to 2 to 3 weeks, while maintaining their structure and freshness. When everything is said and done, the packaged units are tagged with traceability codes, labeled, and placed in cold chambers as they wait to be shipped. And just like that, the endive blossom is born, a symbol of refinement, precision, and sustainability in modern European agriculture. It is born from a modest root that is cultivated under open sky, and it goes through a dual life trip between light and shade.